Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the day two of Hactoberfest info session. Today, it's all about the Git and the Git basics from the starting, the complete workshop, as well as the complete open source pipeline, and all about the contribution. And today, we all are here with the panelists that is Jayesh Kuksia from GDSC Techno, Mohit as well from GDSC Techno, Harsh from GDSC CTA, and Garvit Subin from Metrics.io, and finally me from as well GDSC Techno. And I hope you all are excited for today's workshop. But it's 6, right? And 6 p.m. in the evening. And I think you all may be tired. So, what could be better if we start the today's session with a game? Yes, you heard it right, with a game. And I believe that you all have joined with your laptops. So, I would request everybody to go to a website, amazing website called kahoot.it, and I would request everybody to enter this code to start playing this game. The only rule is that please enter your names correct only so that we all can recognize you who participated and who won the game. And I would request everybody, we would give a 1 minute time for everybody to join this game, and then we can start playing this game. All right. Yeah, we have people started joining. So I've started. Okay, I'll start a 1 minute stopwatch so that everybody joins. Just the rules are very simple. Go to kahoot.it and enter the code as 7455119, and we are ready to go. So, talking about this game, this is a very simple game. You would be prompted with a question, and then you would be having four options, out of which you need to select one, or it may be a true false question. And make sure you attend the question seriously because it is a very important game, I must say. Okay, since everybody is joining, I think we can take 1 more minute so that everybody joins, and then it's going to be a fun game, right? And to all the panelists except Jayesh, you all can also join if you want to play some games. Okay, 30 seconds are only left. If you are willing to join, then join quickly. Otherwise, we would start the game. Okay, I think that's all. We'll just wait 5 more seconds. If anybody doesn't join, then we'll start. Okay, we have some more joining. Just 5 more seconds, and yeah, that's all the people are joining. So I would stop sharing my screen and I'll share the audio again, and then we are ready to go, right? Okay, everyone, I think my screen is visible now, and let's start this game. So this is going to be a Hacktober info game, and this test will test you on everything in life. So make sure you are prepared. And please don't cheat. These two men are watching you. So let's begin with the first question. Okay, which company's logo is this? Okay, we are have answers coming up. Just 5 more seconds are left. So select your answer. And most of you got it right. It's from the GitHub. One person took it as Ye Kaun Hai. So I believe that you know now that this is from GitHub. To the next question, what does GitHub's logo symbolizes? Okay, I believe it is Doraemon, but make sure you have
Let me
select your
guess.
correct answer.
Doesn't that look like an alien?
Yeah, even it looks like an alien. I don't know, alien on water or something. Okay, we have just one
I
person
don't know.
left. Yeah, and the answer is so it is not human plus cat. It is octocat. That is octopus plus cat, and that symbolizes GitHub logo. So next question is, what does this cat tell us? What do you think would be the correct answer? Why I am doing this quiz? This is for fun.
I don't know, but this cat looks like in a creepy way.
Yes. So most of you got it right. The answer is how would I know? Because even I don't know. And over to the next question. So we have Garpit on top. When did the first open source project was started?
I don't know that, but we are surely going to start it one today.
I thought that it was started yesterday only. Maybe it was never started. Lol.
Lol.
Yeah, so most of you got it right. It was बहुत pehle, that is before 2000, not in the year 2000 to 2005.
Garvit lost his spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are the numbers on this calculator?
Do I have to look at?
Please don't select this option. First, I want to see the face of that girl, and then only I will answer. Well, just 5 seconds are left. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it
So,
was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 because I asked numbers, not on the display of the calculator, on the calculator.
yeah, tricky one.
So now this is, it must be in context to the open source, right? Full form of PR. It is
Power
Power Rangers.
Rangers.
I'm telling you, it is Power Rangers.
Right, right.
Or it can be the song Provider, Rider.
Right.
Oh, just 5 more seconds to go. And it is pull request. Most of you knew it. So it can be public relations as well, but in our context, it is pull request.
Yeah.
So now, which of these is an open source software? This is a very easy question.
Do people buy Windows? Doesn't that
Yeah,
make it
but
open source?
yeah, it's definitely an open source. I can see the Windows code. Still,
Tell me about the session where you can see the Windows code.
you know, for that, first you need to get selected in Microsoft as a software engineer. Then only you have that option. I was just kidding. I cannot see the code. The open source software was Chromium, not Windows Safari or even Chrome, because Chrome is of Google and Chromium is an open source project. over to the ninth question, and this is a very special question, very close to our all the engineers' heart. And you can select any option you want. We'll see which is the correct one.
This is an opinion question, I think.
I think I know the answer.
I
Yeah.
think
So
green one.
all the
Yeah,
answers were
There's
correct,
someone
but
who does very rarely.
as
very.
predicted, all of us use the bed for work. So yeah, we expected that. And over to the last question, I believe. Second last question. This is a very important question. Should we learn open source? And don't believe to what does that GIF is telling or explaining by expressions, okay?
Yeah, yeah. Please don't believe that.
So most of,
Still, people are
not
believing.
most of you, all of you knew, and you all believed that. But again,
Yeah.
and this is the last question, so make sure you attend it very seriously. And again, this is related to our context.
Is Robert pointing towards the answer?
So two people selected that upstream is the one of the largest streams that a human can ever see. I believe that was the answer, but in our context, the answer is upstream is where from you clone your project, the origin, I would say. And the winners, we can have the winners. So at third position we have Yash Mali. Second position we have Garvit, and the first position we have Raller. If I
Well,
pronounce the if I pronounce the name right, then it's Raller. We even have Harsh and Subin as fourth and fifth.
Nice work. I didn't even get to play that quiz.
I'm very sorry, but you interrupted me while making the quiz. That's why you were not able to play it. And I hope you all enjoyed the quiz. And this was all the part of me, and all the interesting part is now getting started. So now I would like to, we are getting started with the workshop. Make sure you are ready with your laptops. We are going to install Git and everything from the scratch. So now, with the full excitement, I would like to call Mohit for the installation of Git. Over to you, Mohit, and thank you, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mohit Sadhwani, and I'm a management lead in JDSE Techno. And I hope you all are doing fine. So, with you, welcome to the second day of this workshop. And for starting Git, we have GitHub. We have to use Git CLI. We have to install. And those who already have Git CLI in their systems, please bear with me for a few moments.
Mohit, can we have a screen check? The screen
Yeah,
sharing
yeah.
check,
I'm
please.
sharing. I'm sharing. Just a second.
Okay, great.
So, hello. So you can prefer any browser you would like to work on. I prefer Chrome. So for using Git, we have to visit on. You can type Git on your search engine, and the first website that is gitscm.com. You can visit on that, and you can click on downloads, and you can choose your system preference for it. I prefer Windows, and if you just click on this, the download will start. I have already installed Git in my system. So after the download, yeah, after the download, you can see open your downloaded file, and with the Git prompted, just do it next and choose your file preference where you would like to install your system. I would like in my D folder, D downloads, Git. Okay. And by default, Git uh, sets your path variables. If any of you have issue in that, I can correct that also. So just use default systems provided by the Git, and it started downloading. Just wait for a few moments. And after the finished part, you can use Git in your command line, any set, in your terminal in Mac or Ubuntu, and in your command line in Windows. You can just type Git hyphen version or Git hyphen v to check Git is installed in your system or not. If it's showing something related to Git is not recognized, you have to set your path variables like this PC properties, advanced system settings, environment variables, and in your path you can see your Git. You can copy the path in Git cmd to the path variables. So after installing Git, you have to set some basic commands for Git to work, like git config hyphen global for globally setting the user name and user email, user dot name, any username you like to prefer to show while you push or commit to the check to the reviewer of the project. So the name is set. You can check it by git config hyphen global user dot name, and similarly set git config hyphen global user dot email to your preferred email. You can similarly view this part also. So for the rest part, like git commit, git push, and rest exercises, I would like to call Jesh for working with
Thank
you.
you so much, Mohit, for
Just a
them
second, I'll
installing
stop
it.
screen sharing.
Yes, it is stopped.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey everyone. First of all, so yesterday I gave you a task to sign up for a GitHub account. So I hope that you all have done that already. So today I'm going to start about all about GitHub. So yesterday I also shared some things, but didn't explain it fully. Can someone please confirm that my screen is visible from the panelists?
Yeah. It is visible.
Okay. Okay. So guys, I think that you may have signed up for the GitHub account. Yesterday I have shown you that how to create a new repository, and I left some part in there, right? So I'll do that today. Okay. So first we have gone to github.com. So this is the main UI. Actually, there is a difference between what Git is and what GitHub is. So actually, GitHub is a platform, just a platform where it hosts all the things, all the repositories, files, and shows commit history and all. But Git is a version control system. So what version control system is? It actually, whenever you start a project, a blank project maybe, and you keep committing files to it, you keep adding files to it, maybe some code to it, then it stacks up and create more large of a code base, right? So version control actually provides us facility and capability to go back in time, anytime, in any commit or history, so that if any code fails, any new code fails or anything like that happens, then we can always go back in time in history to the last commit we did, or maybe last commit we did 1 year ago. We can go in that, and we can find out the bug and solve it. So that's what a version control system is. Okay, so yesterday I told you how to create a new repository, right? So I'll explain it in more detail today. So the repository that I'm going to create now is a starting point for you, all of you, so that you can contribute to this repository. I will share the link in the description. It will be provided. So no worries about that. Let me name this repository as CommOS first contribution. Okay, so here is I explained it yesterday, right? So where we describe our repository name and all. So description, it is like optional, but I'm going to provide this just to start your journey. Okay, so this is start. I'm going to make this repository private. I explained you already that what public and private are. So let me explain in brief once again. Public repositories are ones that can be seen by anyone who is having a GitHub account, or maybe if he goes to the link of the repository, he or she can see. And the private repositories are those in which you invite collaborators that you want them to join your team and all. So private repositories are not visible to all of the GitHub users. So that's it. Next thing, a README file. So a README file is one if it is an open source project, or maybe even if it is a teamwork project. So README file is created by us actually, but the contents in it that we write in it. So what does that show? That show what this project is about, and maybe how to get started installing it in our own system if it requires that, and maybe how to start contributing to that project, and all of that kind of stuff we can write in README file. Next is get ignore file. Okay, so suppose uh, I'm using let's suppose I'm using an Android project, right? I've started an Android project, and I am pushing my code into it. It is a new Android project. So what happens is we have some files like some keys of Firebase, maybe some database keys, passwords, which are not to be shared publicly. So those files are kept in .gitignore files. It is a regex based pattern which we write in gitignore. I'll explain that also, which kind of files are generated there. I'm going to right now I'm going to keep it as none. Okay, so here comes license. So every open source project consists of licenses. There are many kind of licenses like Apache license and MIT license, which are kind of an open source license. There are many of them available right here. Apache, GNU, MIT, those are like open source licenses. But if someone goes for some proprietary software, so they do have to apply for licenses to start that. So I'm going to ignore all of these files right now. I'll surely add that after. I'll show you how to do that even after creating the repository. Okay, so this step is completed. We have created our first repository, and what we have learned is how to create a repository, what are README files, what are gitignore files, and all of that, right? So also the GitHub will show you the initial setup if you want to do it, but I'm going to explain it anyway. So if you have if it is a new repository, we can use this command. If we have existing code written in our local machine, we can use this. Okay, so now we start with open source thing, right? So currently what we did is like anyone can do that. But open source contributing is the one that we are here to learn. So this is the link where you can contribute to. I'm going, maybe some panelists will paste it into the comments or, okay. Now I'm going to start the open source journey of ours. So first you have to go into your personal account. Actually, the account that that I used to create the repository was an organization account, that is GDSC Techno. Now I'm going to use my personal account to contribute to that project in what open source way is. Okay. Now I'm going to paste that link here so that I can go to that repo. I can see here a fork button, right? So fork is it is showing that means fork is empty. The first step to do is forking that repository. Just let me log into my personal account first. Okay, so wait, this is another project. Okay, let me create a readme file here, right? So to create a readme file, I can do in two ways. Like if I want, I can create it using github.com also, or if I want to use my normal local system thing, then I can use it. For that, open a terminal or a CMD, if in your case. So now we are going to start learning Git commands, whatever they are. So let's get started. The first thing is to move to a directory that you want or like. So I'm going to move to C, create a folder here named open source. So I think these are the commands that you will be familiar with. Like these are normal terminal commands. Okay, now I have moved to the directory. Okay, Moy shown you the way how to install the Git CLI. So if you have installed the Git CLI, then you will see that if you type git -f version, it will show you the version of the Git that you are using. So if in your case the version is different, then there's no need to worry, no problem. So first thing is copy the repository link from here that is it is shown. There are two ways, HTTPS and SSH. So we are currently HTTPS mode, which is like easier for new contributors. There is also a way called SSH way, which needs keys and stuff like that, but no need to go into that. If you need to start open source contributing, we'll use HTTPS. So the first command to use is git clone. Actually, sorry, the repository is empty. Let me add some, create a folder so that I can start it. So I'm going to create folder of what was the name, CommOS, first contribution. That is not the step that you have to do, but I'm going to do that as this initial setup. Okay, once again, so who this workshop is for? It is actually for absolute beginners to start contributing in open source. So currently what I have explained is all about like Git, normal Git, GitHub, and all of that. So I'm going to create a README file here. Uh, Actually, README's file we create is having extension MD. So what actually MD is Markdown extension. Markdown is the language used to means write up stuff in fancy thing. We can use our styling in that and all of that. Okay, yes, it has been created. Let me write something into it and I'll show you how to commit files to GitHub and the process of committing it. Also, there is no necessity that you know Markdown language, but it is very easy if you know. Means, it is not that tough, so you can learn it. very easy. Start. Okay, I'm going to save this. I haven't initialized this folder yet. If I use git status command here, what it will show is not a git repository, right? I've created this folder locally and edited a file locally, right? So what now I'm going to do is I will add this to the git repository. How to do that? First thing you need to do is type command git init. What it does is it initializes the folder that you are working on to a git repository system. So in as it names it, it initializes the git repository, right? Let me see some files there. Okay, we got readme.md here. So now we are going to add this remote repository to our local repository, right? So first I'm going to copy this link, HTTPS link to this repository. Now I'm going to use git add. First, I have initialized the file. So git add dot. So what does dot symbolizes is add all the files that are there. But let me take this nextly so that if there are multiple files, I'll show how to does they work. So first I'll add the readme file. Maybe I'm using dot. Dot means all the files that you have in there, right? The second thing is to commit. The process of this is first what we did is edited the file. Second, adding the file to staging area. I'll explain what a staging area is. Next, commit the file by specifying git uh, commit. Commit is a option that is used to commit the file. -m suggests a message that we have to write in our commit. This is my first commit. Okay, now I have committed. So what is the next step? Next step is to firstly add the remote repository. If I check git remote -v, that is command to check what remote repositories are there in my local repository system. So if I run this command, you see there is no output and it started giving the prompt for next line of code. But that means there is no remote repository yet. So how to add a remote repository is you use git remote add and paste here the repository name, not the name, sorry, link. So I have copied from there and pasted here. Git remote add will add the repository. Okay, sorry, I forgot one thing. Git remote add and the name that you want to give here. So I'm going to give origin. It is basically usually used. So I'm going to go with it only. Git remote add origin and then repository name. If I press enter now, so it is added. If I want to check what remote repositories are added, I'm going to use git remote -v, and you can see that the origin repository are added. This is for fetch and this is for push. I'll also explain what fetch and push are. I have some great diagrams to explain that also. Okay. So now our remote repository is added. We have committed our first commit and added the file. Next step is to check which branch we are on. So if I type git branch, it will show me master, right? So I'm currently on master branch, and it shows that only one branch is there, and that is called as master. But Git has changed its way and naming convention. So currently the branches are not named master. Currently they are named as main. But we can use master anyways. But I'm going to use main. So to change the current branch name, we can use git branch. You can see that it shows main and we are on main branch, right? So next thing is checking git status. What does it say on branch main? Nothing to commit, right? So we have committed all our changes. So we have still, if I reload this page and I can see there are no changes, it is just an empty repository, right? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now you can see that it is an empty repository. Now what we have to do is commit our changes and push. We have already committed. The last thing remains is pushing to our repository. So I'm writing the command as git push. Push suggests pushing our code to the main repository. Hyphen U is an option that is used to set upstream. That means set my upstream to the main branch of remote repository, to the remote branch of remote repository, to the local branch of my current repository. And origin suggests the what repository we have to add, right? If I use this command, then it is going to push all my local changes to the remote one. It might take some time. Okay. Okay, now it has pushed the changes to the remote repository. Now, if I'm going to reload this page, okay, I have reloaded the page. Now you can see that there is a README file, and the README file is already shown here. This is the starting of our file. So it is also showing me the commit message. This is my first commit, and when was this commit generated? It was
Excuse
4
me,
minutes ago.
Jayesh, your screen
So
is freeze
even it
now.
tracks the.
Jayesh, hello.
Yeah.
Your
Okay,
screen
okay.
is
What
freeze
can you see
now. I don't
currently?
know why. Currently, you are on the like first contribution where you create a new repository and that all things. Push and like you haven't created anything now.
Let me.
Uh, your screen like your video has also been paused.
Now,
Just a second. Yeah, now your screen is visible.
is my GitHub screen visible?
Yeah. Can you uh, please
Okay.
again repeat that the README creation because
Since
from that part I
when
think
did you miss the?
yeah these things are
Oh,
the
so
commit
you
thing
missed
and all
from the
was
README creation.
visible.
I opened the Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, when you like committed then
I
after
mean,
when you commit then just
okay, that
you
is
can do
a
one
way
thing
longer way. This one.
make a quick summary of that thing you explained.
Okay, okay, yeah. Okay, fine. So what we did till now is
Yeah,
I'll
just
explain
explain
from
the main
start,
things
maybe
what's commit like.
very briefly.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
First, I created a local folder known as CommOS first contribution, same as what I gave to the repository, and then I moved into that repository and then means folder is it is actually a folder till now, not a repository. So I moved into that folder and I opened that in Visual Studio Code. Right now, I checked the Git status because this folder was not connected to any remote repository of Git. So it gave me an error or what we call as means problem. So what it says is not a Git repository. It wasn't a Git repository till then. Now what I did is I initialized it as a Git repository. For that we used git init command, and after using git init, it says initialized empty Git repository. So it created a Git repository. It still isn't connected with the remote yet. After then, before I opened that in Visual Studio Code, now I added a readme.md file. MD file is a markdown file. So I added a line here and saved it. After that, I added. So this is the workflow actually. From here, we are going to start the workflow. So adding, committing, and pushing. These are the three things that we always do. So why we use add? We use add to stage our changes that we did, and after that we use commit. So commits actually commits all the staged changes, and we can write our commit message after giving a -m option. Okay, then we checked what remote repository are we connected to. So we weren't connected to any of them. Then we added a remote repository by using git remote add origin command, git remote add origin command. git at origin. After that, we pasted the remote URL here. So what it does is it adds the remote repository to our local file system, local repository. After that, we can check again with the remote v. So it had shown that what repositories are we connected to and what is its name in our local system. I have given it as origin. You can give whatever you like. Next, we have checked what branch we are on. We were on master, but Git has changed its branching system and naming convention. So it currently uses main. So we switched our master branch name to main. We have now if we check Git branch, you can see main is here. After that, what we checked is Git status. It's shown nothing to commit because we already committed all our changes. Now, if I let me show you one thing. If I add one more thing, my second commit, and if I save it and I check Git status now, you can say that a modified file is found and it is in red color. So why it is in red color and showing as modified? Because it hasn't been staged yet. So again, our Git workflow, adding, committing, and pushing. So first we add, then we commit by my commit, and last thing is push. So remember first time I used a git push -u. -u was used for setting up the upstream because it wasn't set here, right? So currently I used only push origin main. Push after the repository name as our local system says, origin, and then branch name, git push origin main. Okay, so this was what I explained. So this is local, what we did is just a local repository handling thing. We haven't moved to actual workflow of open source yet, right? So you can see the changes has appeared here. This is my second commit, and we can see what recent commit was and when it was generated. It was generated 35 seconds ago. If you want, we can see all the history here. My second commit, my first commit. If you want to see what code was there in history, so I can click any one of that, and I can see what code was there and what file was changed. The file changed was readme.md, and so what changes was there from nothing to this is the starting of file. So this is how we generally do git commit and all of that, right? So this is just a local thing. You can do it on your own, maybe for your own projects and all. Moving on to next thing, I'll explain what fork is and how to. Suppose this is an repository, maybe some organization's repository that I want to contribute to, right? Uh, First, what I will go through, I will go to that repository and I will go to issues tab, right? So actually there are no issues yet here, but if you want, even if you want, you can generate an issue because issues generation is a public thing. Everyone can generate an issue if you found anything. Suppose my this button is not working, submit. Suppose there is a form and there is a submit button, and this website is creating form. So suppose I encounter an issue and submit button isn't working, I can create an issue for that, how the issue had happened and all of that. So it will be an issue creation process. Okay. Now suppose there is an issue here and I want to contribute to that. So let me create an issue, just an easy one. It will also show you how to create an issue. So first, I'll explain all the best practices. So okay, so it will ask that title and comment thing. So give a title that explains all of your issue. Suppose I explained a scenario where submit button wasn't working. Let me write. Maybe it is working on laptop, but it isn't working on mobile phone. Submit button is not working on mobile. Okay, so suppose this is an issue. Oh, okay. This suppose this is an issue. Now I'll explain all the how did the issue happened. So you can explain like I started the Chrome browser and logged into your website and submit button wasn't working. So this is the issue description. You can also attach screenshots if you want and all of that, and you can click on submit new issue. So a new issue will be generated. For me, in this repository, I will add one thing, add your GitHub profile and name to contributing.md. Okay, this is the issue I'm creating for all of you. You have to contribute it to that, and your PR will get merged. Your first contribution will be this. Okay, add your name and profile as shown below. Right. So what you have to do is, for me, example, Jayesh. So yeah, and my GitHub profile is .com/jcooksia. Right. So you have to do this in this way, right? You can also maybe enter number here. I'm creating an issue here. Okay. Suppose I am coming to this repository for the first time, then I click on issues tab. Now I can see that this is the issue, and we can also label it, right? So labels are for like understanding thing. So it is I'm labeling it as a good first issue. So these are the issues that you have to work on, like means as a starter issues. Every repository have this, so you can search for that if you want. I'm going to apply the first issue label to it. Let me, okay. This is how label generation is. Now you can see good first issue here, right? So you can see issues all of that, and what do you have to work on. If you see that this issue is the thing that you can solve on your own, then you can go ahead and describe that I want to work on this issue and all. Suppose I comment here, I want to work on this issue. This is the step that you want to claim your issue, right? So someone, project maintainer, will assign this issue to you if you are the. So it is sometimes a first come first serve basis, and sometimes means your explanation basis. So it depends on organization to organization. Okay, so I have means commented a line here, I want to work on this issue. So as I am only the project maintainer, so I can assign it to myself, but you cannot do, right? So a project maintainer can assign it to you. I'm going to assign it to myself. Okay, you are assigned issue and you want to work on this issue. Till this part, you are starting open source thing, right? You have got your first issue assigned, and now you want to work on this. How to work, right? First thing you need to do is fork. Click on the fork button, and as I'm having multiple accounts, I'm choosing the one. After forking that repository, you will see that the repository has been created in your own account too. So this is the remote repository that is under GDSC Techno account, but this is the forked repository that is under my own account, that is jcooksia account, right? So if I want to contribute to this one, I will copy this from my own account. You can see here that my username is visible here, not the GDSC Technos, right? So copy this URL here, and again go to terminal and move to the folder. So I am not going to use this only. I am going to go back and see what. Okay, so I'm going to again go to see open source, or okay, CommOS first. You do not need to understand all of this. This was just thing. Let me delete it manually. Oh, okay, now you can see this folder is empty, right? Empty and nothing is there. So now I'm going to clone the repository, the forked repository. Remember this, never clone the organization's repository from going to their link only. always fork and then clone the forked repository that is under your account. Remember this thing, right? So I'm going to git clone. Git has only very easy means commands, means clone for clone. What clone will do is take your remote repository and will clone to your local folder. Uh, you can see that as soon as I type this command, CommOS post contribution folder has here, and I can see that readme.md is already here. So .git the folder is here. What it has is all the things that GitHub purpose, means it contains your account information from where it is cloned and all. If I move on to that directory, and if I check git remote -v, you can see that it already is set. The origin is already set to my own accounts, CommOS first contribution repository, right? You can see that. So what we done, we have claimed our issue, we got assigned, and we are now going to start contributing. Okay, one thing I forgot about the contributing.md file wasn't made. So this step is not that you have to do, but I'm going to do this anyway. So I'm going to open this. I'm going to open this and we'll create a file here that is contributing.md. Remember, don't do that. Only first time I'm going to do this. Okay, contributing.md. Now what I shown that you have to write first as your number, then name, and in braces you have to write your GitHub profile. Okay, this is done. I'm going to save this. This file is saved. Now if I check git status, you can see that contributing.md is saved. Let me go through it. Remember, don't do this step, okay? Because I have created contributing.md. Okay, let me keep it empty so that I'll explain it once again.
Excuse me, Jesh. Your voice is a little
Yep.
low. I don't know why. Your voice is little low,
Okay, let me bring my.
and little, yeah, and little background voice is also coming there.
Oh, okay,
Background
okay.
voice.
Let me check for a second.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, sure, sure. Just once unmute and mute and unmute the mic.
Okay, is my voice clear now?
Yeah, yeah. Now it's clear.
Hello.
Now it's clear. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can
Okay.
share now your screen.
Okay. So let me do some initial step. Okay, from here you start. Okay, so the steps that I did from last thing that adding contributed, though you don't have to do this step. From now on, you can start. First, always switch branch. Okay, so if I currently see Git branch, I am on main branch. Never work on main or develop branch of the organization. So first, you have to switch a branch from there, and remember, always be updated with the main branch. How to do that? I will show. So first, change your branch. What command is used to change branch is git checkout -b and your branch name, whatever you want to give. But remember one more thing, that the branch name should be descriptive. What I mean by descriptive is the work you are doing. Suppose I am adding my first contribution. So let me uh, give a descriptive name. So what I'm going to add is my profile and name. Okay, now let me think of a name, profile and name. Okay, so my branch name will be profile name. You can give it any name, but remember it should be descriptive and should revert mirror of your work, what you do. Now I have you and fired up this command, and you can say switch to your new branch. If I check get branch now, you can see we are the star is shown on profile name branch. Main is not the active branch right now. If you're using VS Code like me, you can also see the branch name here. It will get changed in just a second. I don't know why it hasn't been updated. Anyways, let me check git status. Nothing to commit and all. Now, as I explained, what you have to do is enter your name and your GitHub profile. Okay, I have added this and saved this file. If I check git status now, you can see that it is a modified. Now I'm going to add this file only. Okay, this time I'm going to explain how git add works. So until now, what I used is a dot. Dot means all the files. Add all the files to staging area. So currently I'm going to add only contributing the file. So you can also write git add the file name that you want to commit or get it into staging area. So I'm going to use git add contributing.md. Now if I check git status, you will see it is in green color. You can see that it has changed its status to changes not staged for commit to changes to be committed. Now you can commit your changes by using our old command git commit -m added name and profile. This is a commit message. It can be anything, but this also has to be descriptive on what work you did, and maybe if the work is pending, then what work is that you gonna do and next time. So now I committed the changes. If I check status now, what it says is on branch profile name, nothing to commit, right? But one thing, if you use git push now, it won't be working. Why? Because the upstream doesn't have the branch called profile name. So this also shows you the command that you have to use to create the profile name branch as well as to push this. So you can use git push --- set upstream or origin profile name, or just like I shown you last time, -u can also be used, but let's explore more. We are going to use git push --- set upstream origin profile name. So again, why are we using this option? Because remote repository doesn't include this branch name, right? So if I'm going to let me show you once the GitHub. If I reload this, it only has contributing.md, but it will be empty, right? If I see the branches, there is only one branch named main. If I fire this command now, git push --- set upstream. Okay, so the branch has been pushed, and it has been set up to track the remote branch called profile name. Before it was tracking the main branch. Now again, let me go to this and reload. Okay, it has been reloaded, and we can see at contributing.md, and let me reload it once again. We can see there are two branches now. One is main and another one is profile-name. So I already said that, but once again, never work on main or develop branch of the organization. Always use another branch. And also you can see here that option to compare and pull request. Why is it showing that you have to create a pull request, right? You have made some changes in contributing.md. Okay, let me explain something more about the branching system. We are currently in profile name branch, and I'm currently watching contributing.md file. What we can see here, my name in my GitHub profile ID, right? But what if I switch to main branch? Will it show these changes? No. So this is how branching system works. One branch is having another code and another branch is having another code. Why is it there? Just to maybe why is it there is to maybe organizations going to build a new feature and bring into release. What if the feature gets corrupted and maybe has some bugs for that? So that's why this branch system is here. So no bug should be created in release, right? So that's why I always work in another branch. Now we are going to next step, that is creating a pull request. You can also use this compare and pull request. I always use this only. So if I click on compare and pull request, it will show you the template if organization has one. Currently we don't have any. I'm sorry for that. Okay, now this is your pull request title. What you can write, a descriptive thing that you have created a pull request, what things you have done, that will go into in the comment section. Write my name and whatever the things you have changed, and maybe if there is a UI change, then you must apply screenshots to this comment area. Name and GitHub profile edit. Okay, so this should be descriptive, and this is this means PR title, pull request title. If you can see a reviewer section here, you can ask any of the reviewer that are of organization, but usually people don't do that. If you are assigned to a mentor, if a mentor is assigned to you, suppose Yash Porwal is assigned to me, I can use him as a reviewer. But if you aren't assigned and you are contributing for the first time, don't change this section and create a pull request. Okay, the pull request is created, right? So actually, as I am the maintainer of this project, so I can merge this pull request by my own, but people won't be able to merge this pull request by their own. Okay, maintainer will be reviewing what files has been changed, and is it according to their policy, is it according to their code of conduct, all of that, right? So I'm not going to explain the maintainer part, but yes, this is the part where maintainers comes in and review your pull request, and if everything goes well, then they are going to merge it, and if not, they are going to leave a comment, and always keep a watch on the repository, what comments are there, keep a watch on your pull request, what is the issue that the maintainers are explaining, and you have to solve that, right? So if the maintainer merges your pull request into the main branch, now you can see the code of this main branch. Contributing.md file has been added, and my code is here. Also, just to let you know, this is the organization's branch, not my own that I have created in J7. So this is the workflow. So again, I'm going to explain in brief what we did. First, go to organization, select the issue, get assigned, then fork that, and after forking, use your own repository and clone it to the GitHub, clone it to your local machine. After cloning, change the branch first, then do your changes, whatever code changes you would like to do, or add some files or whatever. Then our old school things like add, commit, push. After pushing, go to GitHub, then create a pull request, a descriptive title, add descriptive description, then create a pull request. This is the workflow. So we will also be adding the workflow in very detailed version in this repositories readme.md, and also my friend Subin has already done that in some repositories. He is going to explain you next that. So before handing over to him, I would like to explain some more thing about branches and all. Branches, working directory, and staging area. I already told you that staging area is one thing, right? So what is it? Let me explain in somewhat detail. So this was our working directory, right? We worked in it. We changed our code. We did everything. But the files are there. Changes are there, but they are not linked to the repository yet. So staging area is something like what we can say a plane is ready to take off but hadn't yet. So that is known as staging area. So your files are going into staging area. That means they are ready to be committed to the repository, right? So that is the one thing, staging area. After adding to staging area, what we do is commit our files. That means we let our files to go into the repository. So still they are in local repository. That means our local machine. So everything is set up. Our file has been added, committed, and then last thing, push. So this is a brief diagram explanation. I'm going to explain one more thing. Okay, so this is about tracked files, not tracked file. This is also about staging area. Okay, what are untracked files and what are tracked files? So tracked file are those which are edited and added by you to the staging area by using git add command. And untracked files are those which aren't tracked and hasn't been added, that you do not want to commit it yet. That means some changes are left, maybe some code pushing is left. Anything may be the reason, right? So those are untracked files. If you add the file, it will directly go into staging area. If you just edit the file and it is unmodified, it will go to the modified stage, but not the staging area yet, right? We have seen the red thing that was calling us that it is modified. Then after we added that, it was showing in green that it has been added to staging but yet to commit, right? After staging area, let me explain one more thing, unmodified files, right? So unmodified files are those we can use git restore command to untrack them, means we do not want to track them. So git restore is one. I'll also give you a git cheat sheet so you get to know what are small commands. And one very quick tip I'll show you: if you are stuck somewhere and you want to know what that command does, you can use git help. Git help is the command, and after that you can use maybe push. So it will prompt you to open a browser. Okay, it already opened a browser. So it will show you the doc. The doc is already present in your local system, so no internet is required in that, obviously. So it will show you the manual page doc. So what git push command does, and what are the options that you can use with git push. All of the documentation it will show. So it is just a simple command, that is git help and then command. Okay, you can also write just git help to get all of the help. So now you understand what modified files are, what staged files are, what unmodified files are. After staging, we usually commit. After committing, there is nothing to be tracked, right? All files are committed. That's all the Git thing. So I hope that you understand the workflow of open source. We'll also be adding it in very descriptive manner in this README file, so that you get to know what workflow that you have to follow, and you can follow the steps from there also. And for Git cheat sheet, I'll share the link in the description, and you can go through it also, right? So I think this is a good time to hand over the stage to Suvin to explain you more about our own repositories that we have created for you to contribute to and get started on open source. So thank you so much, sir, all of you.
Yeah. Thank you, Des. Thank you, Des. You have explained so much well. Thank you for that. Now I will be like, you have known the how to get work through the GitHub and how to fork clone and so much stuff in one like 1 hour and 15 minutes, right? So you can go through the video again for have a better understanding what JS has explained. Now let me move forward to what to do, like how to have a workflow, that how to get your first PR from a like if you do something, you have a single entity where you will move to the next stages, like next trees and parts. So I will be explaining that, like how to explore your projects, how to find your projects for this Hacktoberfest, which is our CommOS. Okay. So yeah, Riddhi Bhagat, I will be giving the link for repo. Let me share my screen. I will explain where you can find that thing all. Okay. Okay. Let me share my screen. Be just be bear with me, guys. Thank you, Harshit Paneri. Okay. Just a second, guys. Okay. I hope that my screen is visible, right? Please type yes in the chat so that I can
Yes,
confirm.
yes. Zubin,
Yeah.
we
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
can see you,
Yes,
Okay.
Zubin.
sir.
Okay, okay. Now the screen is visible, right? So moving to the, let me first give the link of the repo, right? Just a second. Jayesh, can you put that the your first contribution link in the chats?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Just a second.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure. Okay. And I'm putting this link. Okay. Yeah. Just a second, guys. Okay, visible. Great. Um, Okay, this is, let me first share the link here. Yes, cool, 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 cool. Okay, I have posted the link in the chat section. You can find there, which is at Matrix IO's CoMOS Hacktoberfest repo. Okay, okay. Now, why I made this repo? Okay, let me explain to you. This is the head node repo of our whole Hacktoberfest. Here you can see that in the down section, which is the like, if first I will explain what is this, like this here you can find code, the issues are here, the pull requests are here, discussion forms are here, actions are here, projects, and many more. Okay, for this Hacktoberfest you have to only like focus on only 2 to 3 things, which are the code, issues, pull requests, and the discussions part. Okay, these 4 parts you have to focus on this Hacktoberfest to make your first PR or pull request and contributing to open source. Yeah, also I will also share in the description one. Okay. So this is the files we have in this repo, which is a contributors a folder there. Don't worry about that. It is and there is a file named add new issue .md file. For your knowledge, wherever the .md file extension is here, it is basically meant to be a like markdown file. M for mark and D for down. Markdown file, which is basically a text to HTML syntax. We write like some text is in, and it will be converted to HTML stuff. Okay, you can go through it in your internet and all that stuff. So coming down here, here is our README file, which is described and displayed here. So here's our logo, Hactoberfest and CommOS Hactoberfest'21, and here you can find quick links. So what are these things? There are issues.md for mentors. Like if any mentor want to contribute, like to like create a new project and add issues to it, he will go through this issues.md file. So let me click that here. Okay, it is now not working. I think I had lost my internet. Okay, we will come through it. Just a second. Okay, the page has reloaded. Just a second. Basically, what is this repo means is like having a head node, right? If you entering a hall or entering a room, you should have a door, right? Like an entry point where you can find stuffs like, oh yeah, yes, this route goes from this route goes from this. So that thing is this repo. Okay. CommOS Hactoberfest. Okay. Okay. Here in this thing, you have like your first PR. You can have your first PR here, and you can find the cheat command sheets here, right? Which I have also put in the chat box of in today's session, and you can ask your doubts here. So in this part, I have written ask your doubts. So what are, like, if you have gone through the code and you have some issues, like how to start this, and any problem in this code, like you haven't getting that part, you can freely ask that thing in the discussions part, right? This discussion part holds up the particular topics that for discussions from your mentors or your the project contributors and all. Okay. Hmm. Homogen is saying, yeah, mainly used for readme. Correct, Mark. Yeah. So yeah, this is for your doubt section. Please click on it and you will get into your doubt section. You can ask there your doubts and all that thing. Let me open it. Is it opening or not? I don't know. My internet is working correctly. Hmm. Okay, this is the thing, right? You can ask your discussions here. You can introduce yourself here in this comment box and all these things, like who are you, where are you, and all that stuff. And okay, coming back to the main thing again. Just a second. And I'll be explaining about the, yeah, is it beginner friendly? Completely beginner friendly repo. Literally, you have to add some inspirational quotes, some like your name and your GitHub profile, as Jayesh mentioned. You have to contribute, like to add your name and GitHub profile. That's a barely new thing, right? You have to only the two things. And also for inspirational quotes, you can get tons of inspirational quotes from your, yeah, like you heard before and that things. Okay, the other links for mentors and all, and you can add your beginner friendly issues here. And yeah, first issue is the inspirational quotes. You can find the repository here. Here you can click it. Okay, it is opening. Let me do that thing again. Okay, don't know why it is happening now. Just a second. Let me make some changes here. The issues, like the we are given some issues for the repositories and all that are completely beginner friendly. You can go through the code and you can find the solution to it, and you can freely make a pull request to it. It is completely beginner friendly, right? So here are some repos here. First is inspirational quotes, which I told you before, which is this. Okay, here what you have to do is, yeah, here you have to, what you have to do is go to the issues part, and you can find there is a one issue open. Okay, there is one issue has opened, which is what is saying add inspirational code to the data.json file, right? So open to it, you can find the exact thing. You can follow the steps given in the readme, that how to make a pull request. JS is also explained, and you can find that steps in the readme.md. So go to the code part, and you will find that data.json file is here. You can open it, and you can get the, like, the two codes added here. which is in JSON format. Please be careful about the JSON format which is here. You can find this. Here is a key, hence a value. Okay, and here is also a second key, and it has a value. So add your inspirational code, only one code at a time, and you can only make one pull request at a time to contribute to this project, because it is beginner friendly. We are not allowing spam requests, like you are adding 4 and 3 pull requests to a single project. That is not allowed, and it will be harmful for your eligibility for swags. Okay, so keep that on your mind. So what you have to do is fork this project. Okay, fork this project to your public profile, and then make changes in it and commit and make a pull request to the main organization. Okay. Okay, and before doing that thing, make sure you will ask to assign to it. Here you can write you can write here, please assign to me, like this. Comment this, please assign this issue to me. Just the single line. First add this line and create a comment here. Then after adding the comment, you go to the code and then fork this thing, and make one inspirational code, add to this, and then make a pull request. Okay, simple thing. And you can find other projects too in this thing, in this organization. Okay, let me show it to you. There are multiple projects. We have Python projects, we have JavaScript projects, we have HTML, basic HTML CSS project, in which you are like handling the layout of the whole web page or site. Like, who is a beginner in HTML and CSS, he can also solve that issues. So please actively participate in contributing to the projects here. And I have to state that you have to make at least 3 to 4 pull requesters to be eligible for swags by Hactoberfest. Okay, note that point. You have to be make 3 or 4 pull requesters to be eligible for the swags by getting from the Hactoberfest. So there is like the crypto case one, which is written in Python. Okay, so anyone is proficient in Python or knows some beginner or like intermediate in Python, you can contribute to this project. There will be issues there. And then you have a pinball game, which is also in Python. You can find this thing. There is a paper wrapper, which is like written in HTML, and such more things. You can find this all repositories and all these things. You can find all the repositories here. So make sure you first go to the issue section of the repository, then write in the or comment that I have to take this issue on my part, then start doing on the project, or wait till the excluding the inspirational codes repo which is here. Don't wait for the project maintainer to be accepted your issue and all these things. Like you have saying, please accept my issue. So don't wait for that only for this repo. In the case of other repos, wait for the project maintainer to be confirmed that yes, I am assigning it to you. Then you can work on it. Cool. Everyone understand that? Hector, which yes, is this all repo is in Hectoberfest which you are showing? Yeah, true. Yep. Okay. What is the last date to do those 4 commits? It is basically before 30th of October. Before the 30th of October, you can contribute to it. Okay. And okay, Umang Jain is said some funny thing. Yeah, great. Okay, add your, but make sure you did not spam PRs. That will be not acceptable, and you will be like disqualified from your eligibility for swags. So be careful for that. You can rewatch the whole video. You can go through the Git command sheets here. Okay, which I have shared to you. I can share again to your um, in your description and in the community channel. So make sure you head to the Discord community of Matrix.io. Okay, great, great. If you have any questions, you can ask here, like regarding the Hactoberfest or regarding the repos or regarding the issues. If you haven't understand some steps here, freely ask it. I'll be waiting for your questions. Is there any question you can ask, or if all done, have a thumbs up in chat. Okay, great, great, great. Okay, क्या मैं अपना खुद की रेपो क्रिएट करके दूसरों की रिक्वेस्ट एक्सेप्ट करके भी पार्टिसिपेट कर सकता हूँ क्या इस इवेंट में, और साइमल्टेनियसली दूसरों की रेपो में भी काम कर सकता हूँ क्या? क्या रिक्वेस्ट like creating your own repo in the name of Hacktoberfest, like your personal repos, right? Please explain that, Harshit. और साइमल्टेनियसली दूसरों की रेपो में भी काम कर सकता हूँ क्या? Like if you are a contributor, you can contribute to as many as projects you like. You can contribute to our projects. You can contribute to like other projects as well. That's not an issue. And if you want to be a mentor, you can like write in the discussions panel, yes, I want to be a mentor for this project, I will make you as a mentor. And but make sure you should have some proficiency in one language at least, and also you have some beginner friendly projects as well. In that you can create the issues. Okay, the whole Hacktoberfest is all about two-way things. You can be a project maintainer, you can be a contributor as well. Okay, Harshit? Is it clear? Okay. I will giving the links all in the description as well as in the community channel. Uh, Thank you, Umang. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. This is all for you. Okay. Okay. I had explained all the things yet. Okay, then I will hand over the stage to Jesh.
Yes, I just means want to thank all of them to join our session, and also Subin, also all of the ones that joined our session. We'll also provide our Discord channel link so that you can ask your queries and doubts about Hacktoberfest thing. Subin will do that, right? So many
Yeah.
of you will be in our Discord channel already. But in case if you are not join our Matrix.io Discord channel, and throw your queries in there so that we can help you out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. One more thing, Jesh. Excuse me. I want to state that for your first contribution, like if you want to count in yourself, like you are attending the whole Hacktoberfest, you have to do one mandatory thing, which is like when JS Kuxia has created that Hacktoberfest CommOS first contribution repo, you have to add your name and GitHub to that thing. Please remember that. And Jesh, please share that link to this comment section and to the Discord community as well.
Okay.
And to count as your as a contributor, you have to do that.
I'll be also adding the README file, very descriptive one, so that you can go through it and write it. So it will be ready in like 30 minutes. So just wait for that much time, and you will be ready to go and read instructions, written instructions, so that you can do your first contribution.
Also, Harshit is also how I find genuine repository for Hacktoberfest. Okay, for like genuine, like you are saying, I think you are meant to be like the above intermediate and advanced level projects. Okay, for that you can go for the sponsors of Hacktoberfest, which are Apprite, DigitalOcean, Deep Source. Okay, these three companies are also taking part in the Hactoberfest, and they are hosting their like code as open source. So contribute to that thing. But please make sure if you are new to like open source and all these thing. First, contribute in our repos so that you have an hands-on practice on how to make a pull request. And like if you make a mistake, you can learn from it, because this thing is like your community members are hosting it, so you can learn from like your mistakes if you're making there, but not in the public and advanced repos. So make sure that you do that. Okay, Arshad?
Just one quick tip. Whenever you search for organization and land into their repo, search for tags like good first issue, Hacktoberfest. So that will be beginner friendly issues. So you can count on that one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this was all about the today's session. I hope you all understand better. And if you didn't understand something, and like many things, if you don't, you can freely ask in the Discord community channel. We will be answering your queries there. Okay, feel free to ask there. Great to meet you all. Now, happy coding and happy to open source to all. Okay, thank you guys for joining. Thank you. Okay,
Thank you,
the
everyone,
live stream has to be
for
end.
joining our session.
Yeah. Okay.